platform. I'm Keystone and this is Redbone. We launched this platform as a way of speaking to the people from a point of view that we feel may have been overlooked or just not heard. It seems to be a lot of interest in the city of Pacoima, a few miles north of Los Angeles. Our story is too complex for just one point of view, and we decided to give you a full insight into our hometown, Pacoima, California. We're going to get into our history, street culture, politics, sports legends, and music legends. From the sometimes bitter, sometimes sweet relationships between the blacks and the Pacoima Latinos, to the contentious interactions with the Foothill Division Police Department. Pacoima has a unique voice that distinguishes itself from the greater Los Angeles area. We've heard from everyone else, now it's time for the Pacoima. All right, everybody, here we go. Once again, Stone and Bone Pacoima Perspective. You got me, Keystone. Of course, you got the boy Redbone. We got the chemist Craze. Be-Krazie, and today we got a special guest, man. A special guest. Grew up in the Noms, been around for a while. Grew up with Be-Krazie and everybody. Family well known, well respected in the neighborhood. We have James Gordon.
Salute, homies. It's good to be on with you all. Like I stated earlier, just a beautiful thing, man. I really support what you're doing. And it's beautiful to be with some good, positive brothers.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
We really appreciate you coming on. So, I want to get, of course, I want to get your background. So, what year were you born, man? Where were you born?
Born in 1967, believe it or not, I was born in Los Angeles in Watts.
Oh wow!
But
Wow, didn't know that.
Miles was living down in Watts at that time,
Okay.
and so I was born down there. But then she moved to a place called Sutter Street in Pacoima, where my whole family was from, basically Pacoima, and then we moved to the Nuys Apartments, the Noms.
Okay. So about what year did you guys move to the Noms?
I would say 1970.
For those that don't know, the Noms are we call it the Van Nuys Apartments back growing up, but I think what's the actual
Van
name?
Nuys Pier. When I was there, it was called Van Nuys Pierce Park Apartments.
Pierce Park, right? Van Nuys Pierce Park Apartments. So that's the
VNPP. That's what it was called when I was there.
Okay. So when you hear 12700 and all that, that's the address to that location. That's the Noms. So now, James, of course, I didn't say it in the intro, but you have a very famous brother, Charles White, Heisman winner, SC. What was that like growing up in Pacoima in that shadow? How was that?
Stone, it was nothing but love. I mean, I got a lot of respect just based on Charles being who he was. I probably got out of a couple fights based on Charles being who he was. Eric gonna laugh at this one. Eric gonna die. I gotta stop calling the homie Eric. He gonna laugh at this one because I hung around Eric Griffin and Dale Lloyd. I probably skipped about 2 or 3 fights. You know what I mean? One fight I got into, Eric jumped in and we messed the dude up pretty good. He had to remember Dwight. I don't know if Eric can remember that. It was a dude in the 7th grade named Dwight, but I'm not gonna call no names. But by being Charles' white brother, it was a beautiful thing, man. I love my big brother, man. He was everything to me. I tried to emulate exactly who he was. I mean, all the way down to the natural coming out the helmet to wearing number 12. Charles White was a icon. In other words, he was that hero, that star that was out there that, I wasn't always able to touch him because he was always busy and out there. But at the same time, man, it gave me such a sense of pride that I just felt like, man, good genes, but at the same time, I just felt really blessed. I mean, all the older people, whether it was the homie GT Fisher or Shelton Tryon or anybody that was older than us that hung out in the alley or whatever it was, they gave me big respect because they all went to school with Charles. So I used to be told constantly, are you going to follow in his footsteps? Are you going to follow in his footsteps? And so I did everything I could to follow in that man's footsteps. Not only did I try to do that, man, I just was overwhelmed with pride, man, just knowing that my big brother was on TV. You understand what I'm saying? I'm able to watch this dude on TV. This is my big brother, homie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to get at him. All the kids knew. I mean, like, all the people we went to school with knew if they played Alabama on TV and Charles ripped about, let's say, 200 yards, I come back to school, teachers was talking to me. As a matter of fact, in the 7th grade, Eric, let me stop calling this dude Eric. In the 7th grade, we had a teacher by the name of Mr. Blake. When Charles won the Heisman, he took me out of every class and took me around the whole school, basically parading me in this PE class just because my brother won a Heisman. So it was nothing but love, Stone.
That's tight, man. That's tight. Um, what elementary school did you go to?
I wanted to be so much like Charles. I went to Vine Street Elementary School because that's the elementary school he went to. It didn't matter that I should have been at Fillmore with the homies. It didn't matter that I could have went to Pacoima with John Austin and the rest of the crew, or Lamont Washington. Man, I wanted to go to San Fernando. I wanted to be like Charles White. So I went to anything that had San Fernando on it, with the exception of getting to the 7th grade. I was trying to do anything that had San Fernando on it because Charles played for the San Fernando Tigers, the mighty San Fernando Tigers. And so my position was, man, I'm going to do everything that dude did. I mean, I'm talking about everything. When I say everything, I mean any type of style this dude had, I tried to emulate that style.
Did you play for the same Pop Warner team that he played for?
Charles played for the Valley Chargers. No, I was a San Fernando Brave. Long every year at the San Fernando Braves. I once again, that name San Fernando had something to do with him. So I was at the San Fernando Braves, and I don't regret being at the Braves instead of the Chargers. I know we had our brother Deskin Goodwin over there. We had Junie, John Brazil. We had a lot of people at the Chargers. We had Mike Pringle, who ended up being quite a talent from the neighborhood. So they had heck of a teams over there. We had some youngsters like Stacy Ramsey and Patrick Hardy. All these dudes was over there at the Chargers balling. You know what I'm saying? They had a hell of a team over there to just be out. Yeah, they had a hell of a team over there. And those dudes was younger than me. I'm just giving them up because the Chargers had a very strong organization. But, man, make no mistakes about it. I was a San Fernando Braves. Period. Point blank, San Fernando Braves. Hated the Valley Dolphins. Couldn't stand them MFs. Can I cuss?
Hey, we in grown man conversation. Yes, sir.
I couldn't stand the motherfuckers, man, to be honest with you. I couldn't stand that goddamn, that light blue. Man, they was intimidating. They come out with, it was all black dudes. Every one of them was dark-skinned black with black paint under their eyes. They had light blue pants, Stone, and they had brown jerseys. I'm talking about we would be intimidated from the start. You know what I'm saying? My linemen is already scared of all the brothers that's playing on the Dolphins, so it was always a rough point with playing the Dolphins. But one year I got loose on them, and we went ahead and beat them. You know, I got loose for a good touchdown, and we went ahead and took them out. And they'll attest to that as well if they ever come on.
So
Hey, hold up, hold up, Stone, man. Come on, James. That's how you get out. You know,
What do
you
you mean?
did that same shit on us. You came in one play at Fillmore High School. All the screen made a touchdown. Them niggas beat us 6-0.
Did
Nigga.
nothing. Let me give it to you. My homeboy, I got to call your name this time, homie. My homeboy, Eric, was trying to kill me. He told me he was gonna kill me. He told me they had him, they had Lunatic, Ike, they had Dominic, they had Lance Brown, they had Terry Riles, they had a dude by the name of Damian Greer who was quite a talent that was younger than us. All week long,
Yeah.
Eric telling me they gonna kill me. Eric was trying to kill me. My own brother Ike was trying to kill me. And what happened was I got loose because they couldn't catch me. Eric wasn't gonna catch me from behind. He'll tell you that. He wasn't gonna catch me.
Yeah.
Once I got ahead of everybody, I was gone. But what happened, Eric, was this. I was a little sick in that game, a little woozy that morning, a little sick. Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up, niece? How you doing? Good. I can look at your face. I ain't talked to you in a minute, but good. So Eric, what happened was that when I got loose, man, it was like Scooby came in after me, Tyrus Ford. Scooby came in after me, and they had me on deck like, okay, if the Bears score, we're going to go ahead and throw you back in, sick or not. Because they pretty much shut down everything. I mean, it was a big game. It was a night game. It was a night game. Everybody came to check us out.
It was our homecoming at our home field.
It was at Silmar. It was at Silmar. And I'm telling you, if you know anything about Griff, This dude always was competitive, man. I could tell you some things he might start laughing. He loved Tony Dorsett. He loved Everson Walls. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. He was a
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboy for
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where he at right now with this, but back in those days, he loved the Dallas Cowboy. He thought he was Tony Dorsett. He thought he was number 3 Tony Dorsett, and his DB was Everson Walls. And both of these dudes was all pros. So for those of y'all that don't remember Tony Dorsett, man, probably one of the greatest running backs that ever lived. Yeah, probably one of the greatest running backs that ever lived. So me and this brother got so much history, man. I could continue on and on about, you know, I could talk about this brother playing basketball and everything else, but I'll wait for you to ask the questions.
Hold on. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Motherfucking thing, I laugh. Them niggas them was athletes. I wasn't nothing but, like a Ray Lewis, and I didn't have a Ray Lewis IQ. You see what I'm saying? And them brothers, like I said, when I hit y'all earlier, I said James matter of fact, I said he was more of a Tony Dorsett minus that super speed. He wasn't with all that contact, but the nigga got a speed that when he get it open, he's not going to get caught. He was a
Period.
smooth runner. He was a smooth runner. That's what made me mad, because the nigga never say so. I remember we played y'all at San Fernando on y'all home
I remember that
field,
too. I was gonna go there next. Yep.
and I fucked around and got a penalty because I laid hit, and Uncle
Yeah.
Joe kind of chastised the nigga.
Let me tell you what he did to me at San Fernando. I think we played in the game type scrimmage, homie.
Yeah, it was a
Eric
scrimmage.
hit me one time, and I had grass all in my mouth. You know what I mean? Somehow he hit me because he's right when he say he was the kind of dude that if he got you and he hit you, he was gonna blast you. It just was as simple as that, right? He was gonna hit you. So one time at when we was in this scrimmage or whatever, I think it was a game type scrimmage. You could correct me if I'm wrong, homie.
You
He
right.
hit me. He hit me. My whole face just skidded to the ground. I had grass all in my mouth. Mouthpiece then came out. So he was trying to kill me even in that game. And this is like my best friend. This is like my dude, right? But he trying to kill me. Hitting late, and everything else, trying to get to me.
I wasn't, but I was the only nigga coming to school on Monday with touchdowns. James got 4. He got
Yeah.
I ain't
In those
scored
days.
a fucking touchdown, blood. Diesel scoring. Mike Davis scoring. Deskin
Yeah.
scoring. Jeff Armstead scoring. The whole
Everybody. Jeff Armstead, what a name. Yep.
only thing I can do when I catch your ass, I'm gonna break your ass, nigga.
He was saying this. You know, can you imagine him playing football? He's telling me this all week. I mean, because me and this dude, man, let me just say it like this. This was my homeboy, man. This is my friend. You know what I'm saying? We walking to school together. I done spent the night over his house. Met mama, met his mama. I'm not gonna call names, but I'm just saying, this was my homeboy. I met Mama Rachel. You know what I'm saying? This is my homeboy, and he telling me all that he gonna do to me on Saturday. I mean, the whole week he telling me this, right? And I'm knowing who he is, and I'm knowing if he hit me, he gonna do just that, right? That's how I'm feeling. I'm knowing if he catch me, but what it was I knew he wasn't gonna catch me. I know if I got a step or if I could maneuver him in the hole, he wasn't gonna catch me. That's what I knew.
Bad as a motherfucker, I know.
Yeah.
I play sideline back, and that nigga go sweep to the other side. Might get some hell of a yard.
Yeah. It was almost like I saw him and I saw Ike, and it was like every time I would run the ball, it seemed like I would just bounce a different way. And when I bounce a different way, I got that step on him. And that's it. That's all I needed. So when he said I kind of ran like Tony Dorsett, I love Tony Dorsett, man. That dude was so smooth.
He had that. I said you had what I told him earlier. Where I told him, I said that nigga had that deceptive speed. You might not see him in the fastest, but shit, when he get on that goddamn field, niggas wasn't catching that nigga.
Football
that nigga,
speed.
He had that. He was quick.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
And gone. Yep. So that's it, Stone. So that was it. San Fernando Braves. Eric Griffin. Let's say the North Valley Golden Bears. Long history.
Hey, question, James. Let me ask you this: who was your toughest opponent?
Hands down. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Who was your toughest opponent, and what team was it? As you was playing your Pop Warner season all the way up to high school, who was your?
It's not even a question. It's not a question, homie. It was them damn Dolphins. They had a damn all-star team over there. James Jones was my nemesis. I tell people this all the time. Edwin Jones' older brother. People don't want to listen to me when I say this. They just don't know how great an athlete James Jones was. You
They
understand what
did
I'm telling you? They didn't know how great this dude was. Anytime we played the Dolphins, this dude was a factor, homie. We couldn't
Yeah.
stop him. He was tall. He wasn't the fastest, but he had strength. And he was bigger than us. He almost built like a basketball player. But this dude was good, man. When I say good, I mean I couldn't get loose on them because they had an all-star team. When I say all-star team, they had Dave Richards. They had
Yeah.
James Jones. They had the homie David Dixon.
Right.
They had
They was
everybody, man. They had the dude by the name of John Thomas. He was a
it,
fullback. They had a tall dude named Church. They had the homie Sean Casey. I don't even know if you remember Sean Casey.
Right.
Sean
Right.
man,
Casey
listen,
was buff.
Right. Right.
He's Chris Richards' cousin. They
Okay.
had
talk about
Sean Casey. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
This was an all-star team for Pop Warner. So to answer your question, it was the Dolphins hands down. The Dolphins, and then I would say the Bears. The
Okay.
Bears, it was like the rivalry, almost like a Kennedy San Fernando rivalry. You know what I mean? So anytime
Right.
you played the Bears, everybody's showing up. It didn't matter if it was at Silmar, it didn't matter if it was at home at the Tiger spot. But in terms of the toughest opponents I played in Pop Warner, I'm gonna tell you it was the Dolphins because they struck fear in you because they was just as fast as you, if not faster. I couldn't be Dave Richards in a 100-meter dash. I could run
uh,
with him maybe in the 40. You know what
Okay.
I'm
they
saying?
Right.
So it was like, go ahead, homie, go
I
ahead.
just said Dave was pretty damn big his damn self. Dave was
Yeah,
big.
Dave
They
was
was
a big youngster. He was like 1 year younger than me and a homie, but he was a factor. But Dave wasn't the one who killed us at the Braves. It was always James Jones,
Right.
always,
That's
always. And may
right.
that brother rest in peace, man. Because I tell anybody who will listen, man, that dude could have went as far as he wanted to, man. He got in some other trouble or whatever, but I'm telling you, that dude was a true factor. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
He was someone that you had to pay attention to because the Dolphins was gonna run trick plays, even if he was on Gremlin. They was gonna do the Statue of Liberty. They was gonna do things like throw the ball out to the, and then pitch it to somebody else, a flea flicker. They was gonna do everything, and it seemed like they practiced it and they perfected it. So I would say the Dolphins, and if we get outside of Pop Warner, of course it was the Kennedy Cougars. We didn't
Okay.
like nothing about Kennedy Cougars, nothing.
Okay.
And I know, just to holler at you, I know a lot of my brothers over there in a certain part of town. They all went to Kennedy, and we end up developing a real issue with Kennedy dudes. Almost like I gotta say it this way, it was almost like we hated each other so much to where, man, I got stories about this, man. I could tell you
So
stories
you
when we
ended
walked to
up.
their bus stop. Homie, you wasn't with us, Eric. I don't know where you was at. Dale had convinced us to
I
walk
was
to their bus stop because they had I had a girlfriend that was going to Kennedy at that time, and one of them from the city, I could call his name was Clyde. I'm not gonna call his last name. My girlfriend wore a fluorescent shirt that said Miss Gordon. Him and Mike Pringle decided to grab her shirt and they almost tore it. So the homie Dale Lloyd got hold of this story. He tells me, so we meet at Dale's house in the Noms. Dale tell me we got to go to their bus stop across the street from Keys tomorrow and just let them know what time it is. So believe it or not, old good James Gordon, who ain't never been in nothing, Eric can tell you this, Dale gave me a red rag, right? Dale
Oh,
gave me a red rag. I had the gold tiger rag, and we walked up to their bus stop. Probably about 6 or 7 of us. We at their bus stop, came around the back way of McClay, hit Gaines Street, and right across the street from Keys was their bus stop. So when we caught up with them over the bus stop, I start woofing, I start talking, and I'm not even that. Eric could tell you that I'm not that, but at the same time I'm woofing, and one of the homies, Messi takes off on one of the homies, bomb on him. This dude started running, right? And it was a dude, may he rest in peace. Y'all all know him. His name, but he said, y'all ain't talking to me. Y'all not talking to me. He said, y'all not talking to me. I'll put this on everything. Dale got straight in his face. What's up with me and you? What's up with me and you? And back down. And it tripped us out. So one of the other homies was getting ready to steal on one of my good friends named Randall Holt that I went to Vine Street Elementary School with.
remember
I
him.
couldn't let that happen, man. I just could not let that happen because I love Randall Holt.
Oh,
Always been my friend. To this day, he my friend. So I got in between Mike Davis and Randall Holt, so Mike didn't steal on Randall Holt. But what Mike didn't understand was Randall know how to chunk them. Randall knew how to throw them dogs. You
For
understand what I'm
real.
saying?
For real.
Randall was a real athlete. All jokes
yeah.
aside, so
Boxing.
I got to go with the homie Mike Davis, but I'm gonna tell you, Randall wasn't gonna back down for nothing. So I got in between that. But man, we walked up we walked up to their bus stop, homie, and we just we did what we did, and I ended up getting called into the office at San Fernando High School. And I ain't never even been suspended. You understand what I'm saying? The closest I came to getting suspended was when me, Eric, and Boosie did what we did to Dwight in the 7th grade. Dwight ended up with a chip in his eye. He ended up with a pebble that hit his eye. You know what I'm saying? I told Eric and them they didn't have to jump in because I was going to get him at lunch. Eric said, no, wait till after school when we buy the ice cream truck. So him and Boosie jumps in. They didn't have to jump in, but he jumped in anyway. And so the next day when we went to school, they trying to suspend me thinking I was the one who started. And that's how that story goes.
Hey, James, Stone, one more thing.
Go ahead.
We like to clarify a lot of this shit, too. What year was
Okay.
that?
That was, when that happened, I was in the 7th grade, so that was 1979. That was with
Boom.
Dwight.
Okay.
1979. I could give you dates. When I talk, I could give you dates in months
Here we
almost.
go.
The
79.
situation that happened, 79. The
Okay.
situation that happened on Kennedy bus stop was 1984 because we was in my senior year, and that was probably about October 1984.
I was in jail.
You was locked up. You wasn't with us, I don't think.
No, I was like, don't forget, James. I was locked up every time I came home. Once I started, I stayed locked up. I missed
That's
all
true.
all y'all.
That's true. Eric
I'm
was
dead.
always gone. But I tell you one thing, I'm bringing back to something. Me and Eric was so tight. Let me just say it this way. When Eric first did his first bid, when he first went, right? Eric went to some place called Mariloma. I was
Yeah.
the homie writing this dude when he was in Mariloma. I was sending him kites. I'll write Eric once a week because that was
Yeah.
my homeboy. That was my friend. So that's how far we go back. And that time was, I think, 1982 when Eric was in Mariloma.
And see, now stop. Now stop right there. Y'all remember I keep telling niggas, I know I had to put the hood down because before I went to Maryland, I went to juvenile hall 2 times.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
second
yeah.
time I went to juvenile hall, that's when I came home and went to Diesel room with the bush. And then I went to Maryland. So
Hmm.
I'm all ready. And you see, he got the time. He's like, no, that's y'all 82. Hell
No,
no. I remember in juvenile hall writing letters with 1979 on it.
that
19.
was before that. Yep. And I can attest to this as well because the reason I know it was 1982 is because we had just graduated from McClay. We graduated from McClay 1982. We getting ready to go to San Fernando High School. In that summer, Eric had went to Mariloma. Now he had already been to juvenile hall maybe a couple times, so they had sent him somewhere different this time. You know what I'm saying? So that was like 82, maybe. I want to say Eric right before the expo in 82. So it had to be probably right before August 1982.
Yeah, because I couldn't even walk across the stage in the ninth grade. I graduated, I passed, but I
Yeah.
couldn't. See, you
And let me
laughing
tell
at
you what Eric told us. You know what I'm talking about too.
yeah.
At McClay, they had something to where they was gonna pull you out if you wasn't gonna be able to walk across stage. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting to be pulled out because me, Eric, I think it was the homie, somebody else, but a teacher named Miss Lieberman, she labeled me, Eric, and 2 other dudes as fail, F-A-I-L, because we all sat next to each other, right? So I'm on the bubble just like him. I'm not knowing if I'm going to walk the stage or nothing. So we waiting on that call that's pulling everybody out who not going to walk the stage. We find out the homie not going to walk the stage. This dude tells us, I hope the disco ball fall on all y'all at the dance. True story. Eric was like, I hope when y'all go to the 9th grade dance for the graduation dance, that disco ball they got in the auditorium, man, I want that disco ball to fall on all y'all. So this is what he was saying. So Eric was on one at that time because they wouldn't let him walk across the stage. But I was no different. I mean, Eric, to be honest with you, homie, I tell people this, and a lot of people don't know this. That dude was equally as smart as anybody else. Eric had better diction, better writing than me. You know what I'm saying? This dude was equally, I would say we was about the same, but Eric was smart and everything else. I just got to give it to you raw, just like that.
What do you think? What do you think was the biggest factor in you going one direction and Craze going in the other direction? What was that? What do you think that factor was?
Easy, sports. Sports. I'm trying to be like Charles White. And
What I
then I wasn't as tough as Eric as well. Even though me and Eric got him up one time. Let me give you an example of Eric Griffin. I'm not gonna call his last name. Let me give you an example of the homie. We in my living room. Sugar Ray Leonard is the man. My oldest brother Terry Anderson. We got some boxing gloves. I told Eric one time in our adult life. I think when I went and visited him in Arizona, we got to take that fade again, Eric. Man, you got to go ahead and get back in there, right? We get in boxing gloves. What I found out was that I could throw a punch as well. He may have got the first 2 rounds. I think we boxed in my living room. We moved furniture back. And I was a little afraid of him. I'm not going to lie. I got on the boxing glove. He got on boxing gloves. So my brother had us go some, but I learned something on that day, and I'm going to give you another example. One time we coming out in the 7th grade. It was a brother by the name of Robert Corona. Robert Corona, he ended up being somebody big in a, let's say, Latino Mexican cartel. He lived over there by McClay. I'm coming out. Eric take a rubber band, hold it back as far as he could hold it. And you know, I got a big nose to begin with. He gonna shoot the rubber band and hit me in my nose. And I get angry, so I'm getting ready to try and charge Eric, not really, tripping off him. And Robert Corona knew we was friends, so he gets in between us. You probably don't even remember this story, Eric. That's when we was in the 7th grade, 1979.
I was with the bullshit.
Eric was always on something. Let me give you another story about Eric. And it's not gonna only be about him. We'll talk about whatever y'all want to, but I'm just letting you know, man, this nigga had hazel eyes. Come on, man. Lisa Keaton. What was her name? Lisa Jordan. All the older girls, they like this dude, man. They like this dude when we was in 7th grade. Eric walking around with hazel eyes, but he bad as hell, right? But he got the hazel eyes. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, they loving this dude. I'm hanging with him. I'm hanging with the homie. You know what I'm saying? But I remember Lisa Keaton, who was fine. Lisa Keaton was really good looking. I shouldn't call her last name, but I remember her. And she was always saying Eric was cute and this and that and that and this, right? And I just remember that. So I'm just saying, man, we have good memories, man. Good memories. That was like 1979, 7th grade.
Yeah.
So was Diesel with you guys at all these times too? Or did Diesel go to McClay with you guys too?
He did not. Dale went to Holmes Junior High School, but right after school, the three of us would hook up. And they had this thing with me where they loved to tease me because my mother was from the South. My mother was from the South, and she used to call my name a certain way. So Dale and the homie Eric would always say, James, bring yourself in this house, boy. And they would tease me constantly, right? Because my mother, Hattie Mae, was from Meridian, Mississippi. So what happened with Dale is, as soon as his bus stopped, it was almost like he'd get with Eric, and we'll all be in the Van Nuys Apartments together, and we'll hang out like that after Dale came home from school. But no, he was not at McClay with us.
Okay. Did Dale play for the Braves with you?
Hold on, time out.
Dale was a Valley Dolphin.
Time out,
Okay.
let me go. Time out, my turn. That's what I want. That's how I met Diesel. Because remember, Big Mess, my relative Mike Davis, they played for the Dolphins. So remember, that's when I would come back in there after we moved out of the Piers. That's how I met Diesel, because he was with the Dolphins. A dark-skinned brother with that swag. Like, who is that? That's my relative's homeboy. That's how I was introduced to Diesel. So go on, Mike. James.
So he was a Valley Dolphin. He loved Tuffy and Danny Reynolds. He almost, at that time when he was playing for the Dolphins, I just got to keep it like this, man. It was not a talent in our neighborhood, and I would say probably in the nation like Danny Reynolds at that time. He was a young Herschel Walker. He was
Bo
buff.
Jackson.
He was Bo Jackson. He was fast. I mean, Danny was the kind of dude that was so fast that he played up. So Dale was their flanker. Dale was in the backfield with Danny Reynolds, but as a flanker. Danny Reynolds, Roosevelt Davis, Dale Lloyd. So Dale at that time, he loved Danny Reynolds. He loved Tuffy Reynolds. He even loved Phillip Reynolds. You know what I'm saying? But he was really, they was almost like his brothers as well. So Dale played for the Dolphins. And he had number 28 because he loved Anthony Davis. He loved Anthony Davis. When I first met Dale.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Go ahead.
Now, I wanted to say, just go finish your thing, then I'm going to hit some on Diesel.
No, you go ahead. I'm talking too much. Go ahead.
No, you're not, Jack.
We want that. We want you to
Come
talk,
on,
bro.
James, go ahead.
Okay.
You said Dale loved Anthony Davis?
Yeah,
Dale
but one thing I
was
can say about Dale, he was the first homeboy that came out walking and strong as a motherfucker. He was different. Diesel walked different, shook his hand different. He was the coolest homeboy when we didn't even know what cool was.
He was a cool young dude.
Yeah, cause like I said, we was like when we went to school. This is exactly when we graduated. I swear to God, it was me, Mike. I want to say Chris, but if not, no, me, Mike,
It
and Dale.
was him. It was Chris. Chris had just came to Fillmore. Go ahead though, because we got pictures of that.
Man, when they left my house, this was Mr. Davis said, may he rest in peace. He said, damn. He said, Mr. Dale looked like the preacher and all y'all look like his deacons. Man, that dude had a pinstripe on, hat and a cane.
Dale had a walk, man.
He
Dale
had
had
a
a walk, and let me tell you this: if you made the mistake of shaking Dale's hand during those days, or even as he was older, he was gonna break your fingers because he had put your hand in a claw, and he was
Yep.
gonna squeeze all your fingers
Goddamn right.
together. We getting recruited, homie. We getting recruited, Stone, by let's say Arizona State. The coach come and he wants to meet us. Dale's getting recruited. I'm getting recruited. Junie John Brazil getting recruited. The coach meet Dale and he got rings on his finger. Dale put that man fingers in that clamp. That coach said, "Damn, Lloyd, you got a strong handshake." Because Dale was breaking his fingers. And he did it on purpose. He knew what he was doing. So what we started doing to Dale was, instead of giving him all four fingers so he could shake your hand and break your fingers, I give him two. He could squeeze those, but it's not gonna break my fingers. But he did that kind of stuff on purpose. And he walked with like a certain kind of get up about himself. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Just a cool dude, man. Just
got
cool
that
as
little
cool as
old
could be.
stroll, that little
Had a
gangster.
stroll. A
Yeah, he got
gangster stroll.
yeah,
Gangster stroll. Always.
yeah, yeah.
Always.
That's my boy, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Man,
I was
so
man, I met Dale before kindergarten, probably about 5 years old. I didn't know where the office was at in the Van Nuys Apartments. They were selling butter toffee peanuts for the boys club. We had the boys club in the Van Nuys Apartments. They were selling butter toffee peanuts. They was giving them to everybody to go and sell cans of them. I didn't know where the office was at. Dale was jumping on a pogo stick. If y'all remember a pogo stick.
Yep.
yeah,
Dale
Yep.
used to flip as well, but that's a whole nother story. He used to always flip, but he was
after
jumping on a pogo stick. So I asked him what a office was at. He showed me. So I went and got my peanuts. He went and got his peanuts, and we sat on the stairs. We didn't sell not one peanut, but we ate them all. We ate all the boys club peanuts and tried to go back and get more. So that's how far me and Lloyd go back. You know what I mean? We go back that far, right before elementary school.
That's deep, man. That's deep.
yeah.
They never should have gave us no peanuts. We didn't sign nothing. So
Hey,
we
hey,
ate
hey,
we jacked the peanuts.
one more thing. Like I say, Dale was an athlete. I came off the bench in basketball. Get that out the way. I was, I'm going, I'm Norm Nixon coming off the bench.
Love Norm
Diesel,
Nixon.
yeah, Diesel, he couldn't dribble. He dribbled the ball like the motherfucker about to go through the ground. He was he dribble that ball. He about to bust.
Yeah,
James,
yeah,
James and Mike, all of them was better than me in basketball. But James and Mike was a little point man. That was
yeah.
Jamal Wilkes. That was
I love
Jamal Wilkes.
Jamal Wilkes at that time. He remember this because he was Norm Nixon. I was Jamal Wilkes. You know what I'm saying? Eric loved Norm Nixon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so when we would play in the back in the Van Nuys Apartments, and Dale was the kind of dude who would throw the ball over the backboard. You know what I'm saying? He was one of them kind of dudes. He'd shoot the ball and throw it over the backboard.
hey, that nigga playing rough. He playing
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah. That was Dale.
No, that nigga was rough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool, y'all. So back in them days when you would imagine yourself as one of the dudes on TV. So it's like, oh,
Absolutely.
I'm
hell
magic right
yeah.
now.
Man,
I'm
we had
learning.
Showtime in the back. We used to play older
Yeah,
people,
that's
and
the
we had
new deal,
Showtime in the
man.
back. What we'd do is we had double courts in the back in the Van Nuys Apartments. So, man, it was like we trying to emulate everything we seeing with Showtime. We get a rebound, we running. Everybody running. You know what I'm saying? It was Showtime for us. We was motivated by Magic Johnson, Norm Nixon, Jamal Wilkes, Kareem, and they may have had somebody else as a forward or a couple other people, but those were the people that would have motivated us. We went all throughout town, man. We used to go down and play our brothers down in the projects. You know what I
But
mean?
you
John
should salute.
Austin. Yep.
See,
Yep.
you should salute though. I didn't. I just went really didn't give a fuck about basketball because
Mhm.
I couldn't shoot basketball worth shit. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And James and them, Mike playing at the rec. James,
Yeah.
that was I played baseball though. I played baseball,
See, I couldn't
basketball.
stand baseball.
Yeah, I really didn't stand basketball, but all my niggas shooting basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, my whole little crew shoot basketball, so I ain't got no choice to go number foul the fuck out of a nigga. I can't make no
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
basket. Them niggas tearing my ass up out there. I can't even dunk on the little court. I couldn't even dunk. Them
Eric
niggas
said he
dunk.
couldn't dunk on a little court.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting back. I gotta find me another sport. This shit right
Mm-hmm.
here. I'm the fifth nigga.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
yeah,
so James, when did you see when did you see the neighborhood was changing, or when did you start noticing the difference in the neighborhood? Because it sounded like it was a cool kind of like little family thing all of a sudden, like y'all was just kids having fun, but then it got serious kind of quick, huh?
Let me share this with you. As someone who grew up from elementary school all the way through the 12th grade, who didn't leave the Van Nuys Apartments until I went to college, I could tell you exactly when the neighborhood started changing. I'm going to take you back. Let me lay the backdrop, and I'm going to come forward. Um, I met Robert Townsend Shorts when I was at Pacoima Elementary School. I stayed there for 2 years. Shorts was a little advanced because where he lived at, it was a lot going on. It was a place called Sherman Alley. So Shorts was always somebody who was a little bit more advanced in terms of that kind of lifestyle, right? I could recall Easter, maybe 1976, 77. We in the 6th grade. Shorts come over. I'm shooting basketball by myself on the back court. Shorts got on a black pinstripe suit. He come over and he talking to me, but then he act like he was gonna bomb on me, and I took him serious, like he really was gonna try and hit me, right? So I took off. I tried to swing on him, and he backed up and he started laughing. And he'll tell this story to this day too. He started laughing because that was not me, but I thought he was gonna hit me. You know what I mean? So when you take Shorts and him being in the Pierce had something different. We was athletes, homie, in the Van Nuys Apartments. We wasn't trying to hustle. We wasn't trying to do nothing. We was athletes first. We love sports. You understand what I'm saying? We wasn't trying to do none of the things that Chief Roy and them was doing, that the homie Victor was doing. We wasn't doing none of the things that they was doing, but they would make a little money. They would do things on the side to get them a little money. We wasn't even concerned with that. So as we got into the 7th grade, nothing really was happening in 7th grade 1979 for me. I know my friend, he was involved in a couple other things, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it wasn't nothing happening at that point. I would say the neighborhood started changing maybe when I got in the 10th grade. I would say the 10th grade, which will put it 1982. This dude right here had become something different. You know what I'm saying? He had already went to Mariloma. Like he said, he couldn't stay out. My best friend couldn't stay out. You know what I'm saying? So every time Erica come home, it was like we happy, but then Erica's gone again. You know what I'm saying? So I would say around 82, and then when I think about 83, we had the situation with the other brothers down there in the projects who had came from another neighborhood, and they had started being something different. For example, I could see one of them on a beach cruiser coming through the Nines, but I know he was packing because he was crazy to come through there like that, right? This dude is on a beach cruiser. Can I call his name or should I not call his name, Eric?
well,
The
shit.
brother from the Nines. I
What
call
is
his gangster name, Bozo. Okay?
Okay.
You could call him Roger, you could call him Frank. I don't know which one was Frank. I know Mad Dog was one of them and Bozo was one of them. But anyway, I seen Bozo on the Nines, right? And I'm knowing where he's from. I'm knowing he's new to the neighborhood, right? He's down there in the projects. But he on a beach cruiser. So my first thoughts was, as an athlete who wasn't with none of that other stuff, I'm straight athlete. I'm not with none of it, right? I'm saying this dude have to be packing a gat. He got a gun on him. He have to be. He have to have one. Because he's rolling in the
but
noms at this point, and the friction is at that point. So this dude right here in Shorts, man, they took things to a whole nother level. I don't want to talk about nobody else. Let's just call it what it was. It was that dude right there who's on this call and his homie Shorts. Now we had, like I said, Victor in the Pierce. I'm calling everybody by their first name. Maybe I should try and use their other names. I'm calling them out. We had Chief Roy who had just came back from some kind of camp. Chief Roy had got on Swole, right?
yeah,
1982. We had a
Yeah.
party in the rec room. Chief Roy had just came home. He on swole, looking like he's somebody. But the ones that I remember kicking up dust, hands down, I ain't talking about nobody else. It was that dude right there, man. Him in shorts, just completely different level. So when you asked me earlier what was the difference between me and him, even though this is one of my best friends, him and Dale, he was on something different. He was on, they going places and doing certain things. You know what I'm saying? Catching people slipping, going up to Magic Mountain in different places, but representing what they're representing. If you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to be very respectful at the same time, right? But it was him, man, that dude right there. He single-handedly, him in shorts, Victor, Chief Roy was representing what he was representing, but once again, I'm coming back to him in shorts because Victor stayed in the Piers, and he was gone too because he always used to get in
Yeah.
trouble too. I could call his gangster
Yeah.
name. I'm not going to call it. But Victor stayed in the Piers. Victor never really came over to the Noms. We saw Shorts come over to the Noms. But this dude was constantly in the Noms. Constantly. He lived there because his apartment was right across the street. So it was like he was there with us. But he was on a different level. He was doing something different. You know what I'm saying? And so I would say 82. I would say 82, that's when things start getting heated. I'm in the 10th grade in 1982. The second semester of the 9th grade, which is 1982 as well, we had people like Danny Hall, rest in peace, Alan Hall, who I went to Vine Street with, who was over there with Todd Marshall and maybe Sean Curry and a few others. They was over there by like, they was claiming what they was claiming, which was,
Plant.
can I call it out or I should not say it?
Call it out. Call it out.
They was claiming swans, right? They was Valley Swans. I think that's what Todd was, because I was tight with Todd and I was tight with Ibu, with Ivan. That was my
Yeah.
homeboy too. May he rest in peace. Hell of an
Yeah.
athlete.
Abu.
Man, Ivan was fast. I don't want to get sidetracked. Let me just keep it on point in context of what you ask. Them dudes over there was claiming something, and they was saying, I heard Todd say swan. I don't know nothing about this, right? But Todd is my homeboy. He's my friend. He one grade above me. May he rest in peace, right? So that was like maybe when I was in the 8th grade. But it was no real kick up. The only thing we had heard about, well, let's go back to 7th, was Alan Hall had threw a typewriter at a dude named Spanky. I think Spanky was from Gangster Card. He was from, I want to say A-Tray Gangster,
Hey, Craig.
right?
All right.
Yeah.
Or he could have been from
Yeah.
somewhere else. Eric, you could help me with this.
Hey,
But
Craig.
I
Alan
said
Hall,
Hey,
he was from
Trey.
where?
Yeah.
Hey, Trey.
I said
I thought it was
something
A-Tray.
ago.
I think it was A-Tray
Okay.
Gangster too, but
Hey,
I don't want to
Trey.
call out names because I don't really know those names like that. But I remember Alan Hall had got a lot of respect because he took a typewriter and had Spanky leaking, who was in the 9th grade. Alan was in the
I
7th,
was.
but Alan hit this dude in the head with a typewriter. So Alan them on the side over there by Paxton, by Vaughn Street Elementary School. If you go over
Yeah.
there by Desmond, you start going by the swap meet. They was doing something over there, but they wasn't with us in the Van Nuys Apartments, right? When things changed in the Van Nuys Apartments was when this dude right here started going to jail. When this dude started going to jail and he would come back, it was like, it wasn't uncommon to see Eric get in a fight. It wasn't uncommon that you hear Eric done went over here, him and Shorts, and done beat somebody up. You know what I'm saying? Or something done happened at Magic Mountain, and he was in it. So I would say 82. I could tell you a story, man, where I'm standing next to this. 1980. This is 1983, Eric. I'm gonna hit you with this one. We're in 11th grade. We coming off the football field. Right? We get on the bus. It's grown men. They got their flags. They got on the blue Pendletons. Right? Me, Eric, and Dale, and Mike, we get on the back of the bus. We on our way from San Fernando High School to Laurel Canyon. So this dude right here, now me, Dale, and Mike, we had made a pact that if one of us get involved in something, we all got to get involved. Now, I got a little fear in my heart because I'm not that. I'm not no gangster. I'm not claiming to be one. This dude standing right next to me on the back with these grown men, about 9 of them, from, should I say they said or should I not say it?
Say it. Vinny Show
They was
Line.
from Venice Showline. This from Venice Showline.
Eh,
And Eric sit
False
back
blood.
and he gonna look
Don't
at me and say, yeah, Skip, da 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 da, blood, and this and that. That dude looked at Eric, he said, what? I could see his face. He said, what? Wait till we get off the bus. Wait till we get off the bus. These is grown men, homie. 19, 21, we 16, 17. Him again, this dude right here. They get off the bus, they chunking them, throwing them dogs. Eric done put this dude on his back, on top of him. And I remember they shot caller, whoever he was saying, Venice shorelines don't jump. Venice shorelines don't jump. And so I remember that, and I was so happy that they
Stacey
didn't. I
Foster?
was so I was so happy that they didn't, Eric, because if they would have jumped you, Dale was in it.
Yeah.
It was just that if Dale was in it. If they would have touched Eric, if somebody else, Dale running around with a football. He got a football in his hand. Yeah, get him crazy, get him crazy. He running around with a football, whatever he was calling you at that time. I'm over here like in a cut. I'm next to him, right? But I'm knowing if Dale get in it, I have to get in it. Because that was the pact that we made. I have to get in it. Now, old good James Gordon, right? Who ain't doing nothing but playing sports. This dude done kicked it off again. And that was 1983. And so them dudes end up coming. They was with one of the other homies that we knew from they was with the homie Stacy Foster.
Stacey Foster.
They
Stacey
was with the
Foster.
homie Stacy Foster from Lakeview Terrace. And
Yeah.
but Eric had set it off at that situation. You know what I'm saying? So I just got memory after memory during 82, 81, 82, 83 with what him and Shorts was doing.
Okay.
So, but
Man.
at that time in '82, there was no name for like Pacoima Pyru didn't exist either, right? Or had it?
Let me hit you with this, and I'm gonna be very careful how I say this. But I attest this, I seen this with my own eyes. Dale lived across from a lady by the name of Miss Hooper. Her
Ooh.
grandchildren was Lisa, a girl
And
named Kim
Kim.
Hooper. They had a sister named Zena. May she rest in peace. They had an older brother named Norris. I could
That's my
clearly recall Dale talking to Norris. This is before
Mm.
any name that I had heard. And I remember Norris was looking up towards our rec room, and he was saying Pacoima, and he was calling out what he was calling out, right? And I'm with Dale, and they having this full blown conversation about what was coming up in the hood and different things. So what I recall was that Dale was talking to Norris. Now I don't know what Norris was claiming. I can't attest to none of that kind of stuff. But I was
yeah.
there when Dale was talking to him because Dale was my homeboy. Everywhere Dale went, we was inseparable. If you saw Dale, you saw me. If you saw me, you saw Mike, Dale, and me. Mike is Messi's older brother. But
Yeah.
what I saw was the influence of Norris onto Dale.
That's what I heard
I
too.
saw that in '82.
I
I
heard
saw
that.
that with
Yeah.
my own eyes. Every time, because Norris was just like you, Eric. He was always gone, and he'd come
So,
home for just a minute,
hey,
and
Rest in
Jay,
peace.
they lived. Yeah, rest in
hold on.
peace.
You just named my family. Kim Hooper and them is my family.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that is
83,
true.
that's my family. Norris the one, I don't want to bring up all that. He ain't made rest in peace. Yeah. But he was, I want to say Norris was going to his situation to where he was going through a lot of homes and situations, boys'
Mm-hmm.
homes, and incarcerated to where he was claiming, I don't know what LA blood said. You know what I'm
From
saying?
what I
I don't
heard
know.
from someone else, I don't know how true it is, and so, you guys might be able to verify because I don't track it down. Someone told me that it was Inglewood something that he was claiming.
It might
I
have
don't know
been.
if that's true. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the names of anything like that. But I can tell you this: he used to always talk to Dale Lloyd anytime he came home because they lived in the same, like almost like the same road. His grandmother lived right across from Dale, and she loved Dale, right? And Norris' mother, and them, I think she just recently passed. May she rest in peace. They lived behind where Dale lived, so anytime Norris came, and I was hanging out with Dale, I would always see Dale talking to Norris. Always. Always. Not once or twice. I mean, anytime this dude came around, Dale would be having conversation with him. So I think Dale was really influenced by whatever conversations he was having with Norris, and I was privy to hear some of these conversations. I won't go into it, but I was privy to hear some of them. As a matter of fact, when they had Norris Wake, one of the only times Dale had got mad at me was because I didn't go to Norris Wake. He was
Mm,
hot with me. I think it was
right.
86, 87, Eric, when the
I'm
homie
already in
Big Norris had
prison.
got killed.
I was in
Um,
prison.
Dale
They
was
found
mad at me because I couldn't believe it because I didn't want to go to the wake because I'm with my woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for a couple of days. I'm home from college, and that dude was all over me talking about you gotta come, you gotta come, you gotta come, you gotta come to the wake. And I'm like, bro, you go to the wake. I ain't going. I'm sitting up here with my woman. I'm kicking it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going over there. and he was really, really upset at me, like I was disrespecting Norris in some kind of form of fashion. One of the only times my homeboy Dale Lloyd was really mad at me was when I didn't go to Norris Wake. That's how tight Dale and Norris was in terms of conversation.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm interested, but really, like I said, when I got out, I want to say I got out the second time in juvenile hall, and I went to Dale house. No, I went. Well, I already, Dale was my best friend. We used to play
Mhm.
marbles, men's. You know how that shit was. We was all in that shit. He was the good child to my mama, and I was the asshole. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. He get my mama car, and he in the corner be like, "Come on now, get out that motherfucker, let me go on." But you won't give me the car. Dale didn't even know how to drive. That motherfucker drive everything hard. But anyway,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think I got out the second time. I want to say the second time. That's why I said nigga have to pull up my motherfucking juvenile hall record. The second time I got out is when I'm already out there. Like I say, I always tell them over my whole crew played football, and I said this, but niggas didn't catch it. They even danced. I I
Oh, come
played
on, man.
Them dudes used to dance like the spinners of folk top. I'm the only nigga. I used to sit up against the
We used to get on the
wall,
dance floor and dance. We'd start the party off.
but
Straight
I
start the
wasn't
party
a
off.
dancer. I wasn't a dancer. I'm
Mhm.
watching them niggas they in sync. They dancing together.
We
Cha
doing the
cha.
flamingo strut and everything else. We doing any kind of day. We all doing it at the same time. Stuff like that. So he right on point with that as well.
Yeah,
Once
I
again,
didn't.
Eric, that was like 83. That was 80, 83.
Yeah,
That was 83
yeah.
because we like in 11th grade because you had came home. We go to a dance up in Lakeview Terrace. Me, you, and Mike and Dale is sitting on the back of the RTD. And me and you is laughing because Mike, at that time, because Mike was considered the best looking dude at McClay, right? But Mike was going through that adolescent phase. And so me and Eric was in the back. Nobody know what we laughing at, right? Eric, what y'all don't understand about this dude right here, he was funny as hell. Funny. We used to say crumb on people. They might say plant of dozens, however they say it today.
I
This
say
dude just
bad,
talk about
bad.
people and laugh. And me and him will literally laugh. And when we get together and talk about stuff, we still laugh about it to this day. But on the back of that bus, this dude was laughing at Mike. Next thing you know, I'm laughing at Mike because Mike hair ain't the same and different things, and he had developed pimples on his face. And me and Eric is back there laughing about this kind of stuff. So, you know, just memories, man. And I recall months, I recall years. So that's what I remember about that time. You know what I'm saying? 82, 83.
All right,
Okay.
that was nice, man.
So
But man,
now,
like I say,
what up?
no, do you,
Gold
do you?
Stone.
Oh, okay. Now I was just gonna say, you went to Fernando. Well, I know you said y'all had Kennedy was like beef. What was your
Hmm.
record against Kennedy? How'd you fare against them?
Kennedy, I fared. We took 2 losses and won once. We lost in the 10th
Ooh.
grade. Danny Reynolds was looking like Herschel Walker, like Bo Jackson. Um, Tuffy was the quarterback. Victor Sanders, you might not know who he is, but Victor Sanders, good brother. He scored a touchdown.
Oh
They beat
wow,
us
it was
6-0. They beat us 6-0 on bees. On varsity, we had Chris Richards. We had an all-star team at that time. Alan Ross, may rest in peace. Sean Blunt, may rest in peace. Junie, the homeboy. John Brazil, who was a quarterback. We beat Kennedy 14 donut. My 12th grade year, Kennedy beat us 22-0. So Kennedy had the upper hand, but we didn't like nothing about Kennedy, man, at that time.
That was
Nothing.
Pringles over there. Pringles
Pringle
ran
killed
the
us.
ball.
Pringle had 214 yards and ran all the
Pringle,
way to the
Pringle,
scoreboard.
I remember that
man,
game.
Ran
Pringle.
all the
That
way
was
to the
fucked up.
scoreboard. Pringle
That was
got loose, and I knew I wasn't gonna catch Pringle. I couldn't beat Pringle when we was in 6th grade running. You know what I'm saying? It was no way I was gonna catch him. It's no need for me to chase him. And one of the homies, Lamont Washington, chased him all the way down, running after him. But Pringle ran all the way to the. He didn't just finish at the goal line and turn around. This dude ran all the way to the San Fernando scoreboard, all the way to the
oh.
fence.
That's tight.
Like embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? But they got that one. We give them that. We'll give them that. And I come to realize that all of us was from Pacoima. All of us had roots in Pacoima. It didn't matter if you went to Kennedy, Monroe. It didn't matter if you went to Poly. It didn't matter if some of you all even went to Verdugo. we was all from Pacoima. That's where we grew up at. We all went to McClay, either went to Fillmore, Vaughn Street, Pacoima Elementary School. Very few of us went to Byrd. Very few went to San Fernando Junior High, but we was all from Pacoima. Long story
Yeah,
short.
that's what's deep. Pacoima was like what 85% black,
At
so they
that
was
time,
feeding. So yeah, so they was feeding every school in the valley pretty much,
they
huh?
was. And to be honest with you, Kennedy had just beautiful women, man, constantly. Constant. I mean, like, this dude don't even remember it. He introduced me to somebody. I'm not going to even talk about that. We'll leave that right there, Eric. He introduced me to somebody, and just a beautiful girl, man. But he introduced her to me right outside the 588 on Van Nuys Boulevard. She was with somebody who he was talking to. I'm not gonna call her name, but he introduced me to this girl, man, and she was just beautiful. So what I'm saying
Man,
is that this dude right here, man, was truly my friend. Is my friend to this day. I went to go
amen.
visit him in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? And so when you say the Kennedy San Fernando rivalry, it just brings up memories of, because the girl that he introduced me to was going to Kennedy. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, just all kinds of memories when we come to that.
So, so you when you got out of high school, did you play college ball?
I did. I was one of the few who got a chance to leave the neighborhood playing college football. I went to Texas El Paso. I signed a scholarship with Texas El Paso. I didn't stay there long. I had a girlfriend who was calling me home. I'm one of the foolish brothers who gave up 2 scholarships for the same woman. So, in other words, I worked so hard to get out of the neighborhood to represent my big brother Charles White, but I fell in love.
Mm.
And so when I was at Texas El Paso, this person was calling me over and over and over, telling me, why can't you go to school with Dale going to school? He in California. He in California. Dale was going to a school called Taft Junior College, which was the number
Well,
one junior
yeah.
college in all of America, right? I made up something in my mind to come back to school with my homeboy Dale Lloyd, because Taft had sent like 19 players to college. So my girlfriend was telling me to come home. I'm talking to Lloyd. They're up there blowing one and everything else. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know nobody at Texas El Paso that I could blow one with. You know what I'm saying? And Delton was over there practicing once a day. We over here practicing at Texas El Paso 2 times a day and having 3 and 4 meetings a day. But that's the difference in a university and a junior college.
Yeah,
So when I
yeah,
called Dale, or he'd call me at Taft, from Taft, he's telling me what they was doing. Oh man, we up here, we doing what we do, you know what I'm saying? And he was telling me certain things. And my girlfriend was in my ear too. So at that point I said, well, let me make up something so I could get on back over there with a homie at Taft. Because my thoughts was, if I go to Taft, being that they sending people to Tennessee, they sending people to South Carolina, Gamecocks, Oklahoma State, Nebraska. I'm saying if I go over there and start, I could go to another school that'll be bigger than Texas El Paso. So I rationalized leaving a 4-year school to go to a junior college. I gave up that scholarship, gave it up. You see what I'm saying? I came to Texas El Paso. That wasn't it though. I got another scholarship, homie, to Western Michigan, because I was over there balling. I ended up starting. I ended up going to Western Michigan to play football. The same girl, homie, start calling me and telling me I need to come home. What do you think I did? I came home. So, just a fool. I wish I had a strong father who would have told me I have nowhere to go if I come home. I wish I would have had a strong father who would have told me that, because that same girl, we didn't even stay together. I'm not married to her. The lady I'm married to is somebody completely different, and I know it was God sent, because me and the lady I'm married to today, we've been married for, man, 34 years. I'm one of them who could say I've been married for 34 years, ain't got no outside kids. You understand what I'm saying? I prayed to
Amen.
God for this lady. You know what I'm saying? Because I was hurt. The one that I was telling y'all about, she dumped me for a brother who was going to Monroe, who had big feet, big hands, and everything else. You understand what I'm saying? So she dumped me and got with him. He was over there. He was part of that other. He was part of a card down there in uh in um in Los Angeles. Eric laughing too. This dude was he was from Main Street, and she dumped me for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm up in Western Michigan trying to better ourselves, trying to get things right. Man, I get the call from the big homie, say, man, look, I done saw her with so and so. I had to come home, man. I wasn't thinking about no damn football. I'm coming home to straighten this out. And just didn't know it was nothing to straighten out. She had moved on.
Wow.
But it was God sent, because If it wasn't for that situation, I wouldn't be the man that I am, and I wouldn't have met my wife because I prayed to God for my wife, and she was praying to have someone else as well because she was going through a rough time with somebody who we all know, and she ended up praying to God, and we hooked up, man, and we got married real quick. Didn't take a long time. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to take 2-3 years to marry nobody. If you find somebody and they good for you, you act like they good. Eric, why you laughing, homie?
He's stupid.
Hey, Eric,
He's
she dumped
stupid.
me, homie. She dumped me, bruh. It was nothing I could, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you, Stone, I was in bad shape. I'm talking about bad shape, homie. I'm talking about, man, I couldn't hit the corner without tears dropping out of I couldn't believe it. I
So,
couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was in shock. Straight could not believe it.
and gave up your scholarship. Woo.
Gave up the scholarship and everything. I had to come home for that one, but that, it was what it was. But yeah, so that's the answer to that question.
Okay. So did you end up completing your education though, or where
I
you?
did complete my education. I got a degree, but it wasn't even really about the degree because during those days, what happened was it's almost like who you know and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And it ended up being that way. If you go back to the late 70s, a lot of our people start getting jobs. The men start getting jobs at certain places, and they start getting promoted to supervisors and foremans and different things. We had people who was living on Hanson Hills. We had other people who was living, let's say, back there by Brainerd. That's because their mothers and fathers had jobs at General Motors or Lockheed or Rocketdyne or whatever it was. So my perspective when I came home, I was lost, man. I didn't know which direction to go. I really didn't. I didn't know if I was going to be this or that. So I didn't have no epiphany to do what I'm doing now. I'm in a great career now, but I didn't have no epiphany of doing none of these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? And so it just kind of like fell into my lap, and it just was the prayers that I gave. Eric one time told me, he said, man, you didn't have nothing hard about you. In other words, your life haven't been hard. You ain't never been this. You ain't never been homeless. You ain't never been that. The hardest thing I went through was probably a good breakup with that girl that I told you about, right? But in terms of in terms of just being someone who had been blessed, and I would say God has always taken care of me, I have had that. I have had that. I'm 58 now. I'm going on 58. If I'm not mistaken, Eric, your birthday is in October, right? Mine is in August. When is yours?
Mine's November. I'm with Diesel. We Scorpios. You know me and
Okay,
Diesel.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Okay,
November,
yeah,
we
yeah,
go
yeah. So
crazy.
my birthday was in August, and so yeah, that's that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So so when I uh I graduated high school in '91. I moved to San Diego for a minute.
okay.
So now when I came back home from San Diego in '94, if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing you like I've always been kind of the quiet, just peeping the game out type of dude. I never was trying to put myself out in front of everybody. I always kind of kept myself, to where I could make my own decisions and everything. I didn't want to
Mhm.
go put myself in front of people and then they end up telling me to go do something that, now I gotta pay the cost for. But anyway, I remember seeing you with a bow tie, I think.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. You see me with a bow tie.
yeah, so
The
how did
Nation of
how did
Islam.
how did that happen? Yeah, how did that happen?
Yes, yes,
It
yes.
happened. It was something once again, and I thank God for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I started reading the book Malcolm X, the only book I had ever read from cover to cover. I read the book Malcolm X, and he kept referring to a gentleman by the name of Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad. So I happened to go to a meeting. Now, all throughout school, you vaguely heard the name of a Malcolm X, but we knew all about Martin Luther King. Didn't know much about Malcolm X. Never really heard too much about him, nothing like that. I was intrigued by his story. Um, so being intrigued by the Malcolm X story itself, it led me to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. When I got to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it was like I felt like when he found me, I was so deep in the mud as far as I was concerned that only my eyeballs were showing. That's how I felt because of some of the extra things I was doing on the side. I was going through depression because my homie had got sick. My homie was real sick, and I was going through a lot. So when you see me in that bow tie, I could almost tell you what year it was. I could almost tell you what I was doing. I was pushing the program. In other words, I was pushing the bean pies and I was
Yeah.
pushing the Final Call newspapers, and we was going all throughout Pacoima, along with Van Nuys and even let's say CSUN pushing that program. So um, I hold those teachings to be true, but at the same time, I also understand that I don't even manufacture the air that I breathe. So I'm not gonna let no one, and this is not a knock on the nation, I'm not gonna let anyone, I'm gonna know God for myself.
Okay.
Whatever God you say you believe in, that's what you say, right? I don't
Yeah.
care if you call him Buddha, Allah. I don't care if you call him Jesus or whatever. But I'm gonna know God for myself, and the only way I really know Him is because the highest form of manifestation is man, right? And so when I'm looking at this brother, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at God. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Now maybe we flying a little lower than the angels at that moment, and we're not living up to our full potential at that moment. But I know I'm looking at God because there's no other form of creation that's higher than man. Animals are not as high as us. You know what I'm saying? And if God could talk through a donkey and get his point across as he did in scripture, then I know that my brother is God, and I look at him like that, and I try to treat him like that. So I don't subscribe to a particular church to give money to. I would rather come see my brother and I shake his hand, not put money in his hand. I'm that kind of person today. So when you reference back to the Nation of Islam and me wearing a bow tie, my official name in the nation, because I was registered, was James 10X Muhammad. That was my name, James 10X Muhammad. And so I learned so much. I learned how to be who I am today. I learned how to move. I learned how to walk. I learned how to respect women. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to respect my elders. Everything like that, even though I was that way before, it just enhanced that and it came out. You know what I mean? It even came out more. So when you say you saw me, I'm sure you did. I probably was in a gold suit. I could have been in another kind of suit, but I was pushing the program heavy at that point. So that'd be that.
Okay. Nah, I just see when when I was in San Diego, I had a dude named Darian X
Okay.
and no Darian Muhammad. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Darian Muhammad. And he was Muslim, and I would get a phone call from him. And I grew up in church. My mom wouldn't let me. I couldn't live in her house if I didn't go. So
Mm-hmm.
moved out. That's when I got a final call and I saw uh the how to eat to live and all that type of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
started reading that stuff and it blew my mind that I was seeing scriptures in something that was Muslim that I never seen in church before.
Mm-hmm.
So it just gave me a different respect and a different it opened my mind to different things. So when I got back to Pacoima and I don't remember ever seeing any other I don't remember a Muslim presence in Pacoima before I left. So when I
Mm-hmm.
got back, I noticed you and I think another brother
Timo,
Timo.
brother Terrence.
Timo.
exactly
Timo.
Terrence, brother Terrence.
exactly
We basically
I
came to
know
the nation together. So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we was really pushing the card in Pacoima at that point. We had meetings at Pacoima Park. We'll bring all the brothers from Los Angeles, all the sisters from Los Angeles, and we'd have a real big meeting at Pacoima Park. We was meeting at Pacoima Park every Wednesday night with Mr. Dixon. May he rest in peace. Most of y'all remember Mr. Dixon.
Mr. Dixon.
Anyway, he would give us the gym at a certain time, and we would have our meetings in Pacoima Park. And at that time, man, I was so heavy in Islam. I was so heavy in the Nation of Islam that's all I did. But you have to have balance, brother. You know what I'm saying? If you doing one thing and that's all you doing and you're not giving the right amount of time to other areas, you're not well balanced. You know what I'm saying? And so I started learning things. I started learning other things, and that's why to this day I love being in the Nation of Islam. It was part of my history. It taught me so much. Some of the rules I still follow to this day, and some of the rules I break, and I break them on purpose.
he said I break them on
I
purpose.
break them on purpose. If I want to eat some ribs, I'm gonna eat me some.
I heard
Period.
I heard that. Um,
Eric laughing over there.
Well,
I'm not gonna let no religion, homie, tell me what I could do because we know it's allegoric. We know that most of the stuff that you read in the Bible, for example, let me just throw one at you and we'll leave it alone. I'm not gonna sit and debate anyone who's in the Bible. I could talk about the Quran as well. But when you think about the Bible, I tell you the first 5 books is the book of Moses. If you think about it, how is it the book of Moses? Did he write it in his own death? Because he told you about Moses died also in them 5 books. So did Moses write in his own death? You understand what I'm saying? If you go and you look at the very beginning of the Bible, it tell you revise. So revise means to change, right? So
Yeah.
the gospel according to Matthew, the gospel according to Mark. Is this Mark telling you this? Is Matthew telling you this? Or somebody telling you what Mark and Matthew did? And then I'll give you this last one and we'll let it alone because I love Christianity.
Preach,
I would
James.
consider myself a Christian.
No, hey,
I would
preach
consider
that.
myself a Christian.
They need to know. Preach,
Jesus is
brother.
my Lord and Savior, but it's allegoric. That's why when it comes to artifacts, the ark, Moses' grave, Abraham's grave, Bathsheba, whoever you want to talk about, you can't find not one of their graves. Not one of them. David, go look for it and see where you find it. Because when they get to that grave, they'll say the grave commonly known as Moses' grave. Or the grave commonly known as Jesus' grave or whatever it might be. So when I start to understand the theology behind it and the technology that was placed upon our people to be a certain way, I start shying away from all religion. I believe in God because I know him for myself, right? But I start shying away from certain things based on the Ethiopian Bible, for example, or the Apocrypha, or the Book of Thomas. You know what I'm saying? I could go on, but I don't want to make it appear like I'm attacking Christianity because I would tell you Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. But at the same time, I'm going to live this here life, homie. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live my life, and I'm not going to let no restraints put me in some kind of box because they telling me that I have to be this kind of way. Because we know it's, hypocrites. They
Amen.
hypocrites and they wolves. They hypocrites
All
and
right.
they wolves, and I just leave it at that.
Preach, brother. Preach. Shit.
I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it right there because I don't want to make it seem like I'm attacking Christianity because I'm not.
That's right. That's right.
no,
Respect.
that's respect.
Respect.
For
Well,
me, for
for
me,
one,
I asked the question because I wanted your perspective,
Okay.
and
You did ask the question. I'm
that's
sorry.
what it
That's my passion, brother. I'm sorry for
that,
being
that's what
taking it
it.
long.
No,
Nothing
it's
to
called for.
apologize
It's
for.
called for
Nothing to
someone's
apologize
perspective.
for at
Don't
all.
apologize.
At all.
That's your perspective. It's not necessarily, you know what I mean. It's not necessarily what I believe or what
Right.
Redbone believe or what Craig believe. It's what you believe. That's your
Absolutely.
perspective on it.
Well, I
So
appreciate that.
I respect that. You know what I mean. But yeah, I did want to touch on it because you do have mannerisms about yourself that I could tell it's a certain discipline there. So I was wondering if you still uh dealt with the Muslim faith or not.
The
So
Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us. He taught us that we should study all religions.
hey,
We should study all religions. That way you'll be well rounded. Because what happens is that we're all common. We it's more that unites us than separates us. So if I study, let's say Islam, and I get something out of it. If I study, let's say Christianity, or I study any other type of religion, what happens is that it's a common bond that's there, like respect your neighbor. Don't do this, don't do that. It's certain bonds that's already there. So that's why I always say the God that you believe in, because it don't matter to me. It's whatever God you believe in. If you understand that it's a higher being that's higher than us, that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? For me, I know that. I know that. And I could live with that and I could go out on that. So it just was Islam through the nation of Islam taught me so much in terms of just who I am today. But as my good friend to tell you, I was probably always a mellow kind of dude, a humble kind of dude growing up. You know what I'm saying? I had compassion for fellow men. I understand that God's children is God's children, and that includes all of them, not just one. You know what I'm saying? It don't just include the black man. It includes everybody, and I believe that. And so anything contrary to that, I also find myself getting as far as east is to west from that.
wow, okay, all right. So no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Um, we are at an hour 16. Um, So I like to wrap things up. So James, out of this conversation, how would you summarize it? How would you wrap it up? What's a point that you would want the people to get from this conversation we had today?
Peace, and love for brothers. In other words, it's not about what flag you carry. It's not about none of that. We all are the same. In other words, when I look at you, I don't own a blade of grass in Pacoima. So all that to me was degradation. All of that to me was a time period in life that maybe someone was flying a little lower than the angels. In other words, you got a brother who would kill another brother. You know what I'm saying? It hurts my feelings when I see a brother kill another brother. It bothers me. So when I look at us on this platform, I say to myself, we're just all chopping it up, having a good conversation, but I see peace. I see love. I want to shoo the devil away. I want to get rid of the devil. And the biggest devil is myself, right? Because man's greatest battle is with himself. So I'm knowing if I want to see a devil, I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to check that devil that's right there in front of me, myself, right? So with that being said, what I see here is love. And this is the way it should be. It should be love. We shouldn't have no division in terms of, oh, well, this brother said this and this brother said that. That's incorrect. That's incorrect. No, let's support Stone. Let's support the other homie. Let's make sure that we put some money behind y'all. I told you last night what I would do. I told you, get at me. What I have, whatever I could afford to help support y'all, I want to put something behind y'all just to see to it that you get to where you need to be. And if everyone could play a small role, homie, if everyone could play a small role and pitch in that $10, that 15, or that 50, or that 100, I don't have much, but I'm good, and I know that I want to support y'all to make sure that y'all are all right, that you might be able to get some more time if you're getting time or you're paying for it. I don't mind helping. So I'm going to encourage everyone who hear this. I don't know who will hear it. I don't know who will subscribe to it. Man, let's support these brothers. When we see somebody doing something positive, it's not about that shit that happened 39 years ago, 45 years ago. What did that matter? You know what I'm saying? That Google Gaga language, that stuff was years
That's
ago,
right.
homie. What are we doing today? How are we moving today? What moves are we making today to better our community? What are we doing to make sure that I don't kill another man that look like me? Or a Latino brother don't kill a man that look like me because I'm walking through Pacoima and I'm at Keys or I'm at Rigo's Tacos and he see me up there. For example, let me give you a story. And I ended with this. I know we long-winded. Me and my wife, my whole family, back in probably 2006. This is when the hood was heated about something, right? I happened to stop at Leon's liquor store at 10 o'clock right before it closed. It's four brothers. It's four Latinos and a brother in the back seat, right? When I pull up, this is the closest I ever feel, Eric, to being smoked. I just got to give you this. They staring at me. When I get out of the car, my navigator lights up. They see my wife. They see my children. They looking at me like they puzzled on if we should smoke this dude or not. I got on some track shoes that's psychedelic. It got orange in it. It got this. They knowing I'm not that. They knowing I'm not representing the set like that. They looking dead at me though. I'm out the car at this point. If they're going to get me, they're going to get me. It ain't a better day to go. And if I go, I'm a damn sure try and take somebody to the mountaintop with me. That's my thinking. That's my nation thinking, right? So I goes in the Leon's liquor store. They slowly drives off. As I'm walking back out of Leon's liquor store, they done pull right up on me again before I get to my car. I've been knowing people in Pacoima my whole life. I ain't never seen that black dude in Pacoima. I would think that he's from that powerful set over there in North Hollywood or something because that's who they was going at and it was going back and forth at that time, right? I felt like God spared me on that day. Now, I could be wrong. But the way they looked at me was like, we could get him. We got one. You know what I'm saying? And so by me not getting God on that day, I walked away just feeling like God blessed me that day. I don't ever want to be in that situation. It hurt my feeling, homie, when our good friend Jabali got killed. Man, that hurt me. You know what I'm saying? I could go on and on. I don't want to make my big homie, depressed about nothing. But man, it tore me up when certain things happen. You know what I'm saying? And he know what I'm talking about. But we'll leave it with this. What I see in this program right here is unity, peace, man. Get away from all these other things that's going to divide us. Start realizing that we are looking at ourselves when we see one another, and let's support one another, man. Let's have these kind of conversations that's good, that's productive. I see a productive conversation. I gave it the best way I know how. I hope I didn't offend anyone, But at the same time, I got to keep it the way I saw it, and I said what I said.
I want to say I
So,
appreciate you. I always
Craze,
appreciate you.
wrap it up for us, man.
I,
Sum it
I,
up,
I,
Craze.
no, I'm gonna let y'all sum it up. I just want to say, man, you know, it's always been fun with these brothers, still to the day. You know what I'm saying? No matter
Yes,
what,
sir.
it seems like we never changed. Even though we grew up, we still laugh. And
I
he
know. Me and this brother still laugh. We laugh, man.
still and shit. He bring up shit that I done forgot to make me laugh, and I go back home really and think like, man, you did some dumbass shit, man. What the fuck was on you? What made you do that shit? But I appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
I
you too, bro.
appreciate you, man.
Same.
And I like that last quote, and I don't want to stand too much into it because I want to keep it right what he said. So, I appreciate you, man. I see you, man. I see you when I'm on that end.
Absolutely. We'll hook up, bro. Let's do lunch. And then Stone and my good friend Darrell, get at me, man. Let me know where I could help out. I'm with y'all, man. I mean, I'm with you from a distance. I'm with you close up. Whatever you need from me, y'all let me know. Like I said, man, we need to support y'all. Y'all doing something that's positive. Let's get away from all that other stuff and let's just support these two brothers that got this program, and let's get as many followers as we can so that they could be represented the right way because they're telling a good story. It's not about that other stuff, man. It's not about, the division. Anybody who looking at this show and walking away feeling some type of way or feeling some type of division because of who's on the show or who might not be on the show, man, get rid of all that. It ain't nothing but the devil. It ain't nothing but the goddamn devil. Okay? And so realize that, and then we could come together, man, and we could continue to do positive things. I want to thank both of y'all, man. I appreciate you, and I wish to help support you, and also, man, stay safe and stay well.
Hey, James,
Appreciate that.
one more thing. Hey,
Yes,
James,
sir.
You
so,
got something
Yes, sir.
going? Got,
hey,
man.
yeah. I just want to, hey, we do appreciate you for coming, my brother. And again,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have you come back on because we got to do a part two. It's just the beginning, you know what I'm saying?
Let's do
So
it.
we need you to come back on and we got to talk. We got to check into some more stuff. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Say
'Cause
less, man. I'm here. You know that. You know
yes,
that.
yes, sir.
Me and this brother go back, man. We go back. We family. My niece is his wife. We go way back, man. And so anything, I could
43
just say it again. I don't want to
years.
sound like a broken record. This is what I'm saying.
43
Anything I
going on.
could do to support y'all, man. If it's
Right.
help getting some followers, whatever. If you just need to pick my brain on what I think could enhance the show, I will share that with you. I'm in information technology. I train doctors literally for a living. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't
Wow.
even mention that because it's not about that, but that's what I do. I work at
No,
Kaiser Permanente. I train doctors. A brother from the NOMS training a doctor. Go think about it. I wasn't the smartest one in school.
Man, we
You see what
should
I'm
have
saying?
got into that.
So
Hey,
we could talk about that the next time. You know,
next
how to
On
get
the
some
time.
brothers
Yeah, we gotta
involved,
get into that,
yeah,
man.
how to get some, and then I'm gonna tell y'all to come on my platform because I'm
Yeah.
finna put something together. I'm already in the works of doing it. I'm gonna call it James Gordon Hot Seat. Check out this, Eric. It's gonna be called James Gordon Hot Seat. I'm gonna put a motherfucker in a hot seat. What I mean by that is this: I'm gonna have them explain to me why you did that shit you did, and I'm gonna talk to you just like that. James Gordon hot seat. It ain't gonna be from a Pacoima perspective. It's gonna be somebody who have done some foolish shit, some stupid shit, and I want to ask you straight out, nigga, why you do that?
For real.
Long story short, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk
Hey,
about it.
I
So
like
let's
that.
get together, man. We got some things that we could
Hey,
parlay
we
on.
need it for the
I
motherfucker in the
like
hot
that.
seat anyway. Fuck that. We gonna have a show
Yeah,
called the.
put that motherfucker in the hot seat.
You know
Put
what I'm
his
saying?
ass right in the hot seat and ask that motherfucker, man, why you do that? You know what I'm saying? And then when he go to explaining it, don't let him off the hook. Make sure he answer that damn question. You know what I mean? Why you do that? And so it's gonna be a big spotlight. I'm gonna tell you how my platform gonna be. Dark room. Him sitting across from me or him even being on a platform like this. Dark room. One spotlight shining on that situation on me or him if he's
Yes,
next
sir.
from me.
Okay.
Dark room, spotlight, and I'm putting his ass in the hot seat.
There it is. There.
Period. That's it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
I heard that.
Appreciate you,
All
James.
right, thank y'all, man.
Hey, we
Y'all be safe,
appreciate
man. Much love too.
you. Much love.
All right, y'all be safe. Hey, Eric, I'm gonna holler at you, man. We get together soon.
Yes, sir.
Much love.
All right,
I'm out.
y'all.
All right.